Hey guys, it's your girl DJ Sims and I'm back with Chat and Vibes podcast, and today I'm joined by DJ Limelight and we've got a very special guest with us up in the studio. Super excited for this one. We've got a sick magician who me and Limes have seen like all over social media. We've got Arsh Magician.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're an exciting guy, man. You're an exciting guy to watch because your content looks so crazy. The quality is crazy.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Crazy. And when myself and Sims saw your profile, the first thing we thought was, this can't be real. This guy can't be real because he's in London.
Yeah.
He's representing Desis globally.
Yeah.
You're doing something very mainstream and your quality is just crazy, bro. So like we just felt like you are someone we really want to spend a bit of time with and talk to and get to know more.
That's sweet. No, I
about.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's start with the beginnings though, man. I mean, you're a magician.
Yep.
That's doing crazy numbers online for being very creative.
Yep.
And being very original, I'd say, as well in the way you do your stuff.
Yep.
But where did this whole magic kind of career, or should I say, to start off as a hobby, I'm guessing, start for?
Yeah, so
for
cool.
Arshdeep?
I mean, my story isn't as fancy as a lot of other magicians that you'd hear online, like, you know, your typical David Blaine, Dynamo. You wouldn't hear it like that same kind of storyline. It was crazy for me. I was at an event, in fact, like a family event. It was a Christmas event, and one of my cousins showed me a trick, but I was not interested. Like, he showed me the trick. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, something cool happened, but I didn't question it. I was like, okay, that's cool, and moved on. An hour later, drive back home, I'm staring into space. I'm like, okay, what did he do and how did that happen? And then I realized I don't really know any party tricks. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn whatever he did, try to figure it out. So I went home, next day, bought a pack of cards, learned first trick. The next day I took it to school, tried it with my friends, and the reaction was crazy. It was such a basic trick.
Right.
The reaction was insane for me. I was like, cool, all right, let me try this again. Went back, learned another trick, perfected it, showed it to my friends, the same reaction. I was like, okay, this is sick. I just kept doing it. And that feeling just kept getting better and better and better. And I just didn't stop learning the tricks. I just kept going from one to the next. And I think within about a week, probably had like 10 tricks that I knew that I perfected so I could do it anytime, anywhere. And that's it. That's when it really started to get like good, because I knew a lot about the secrets of magic. And it was more psychology. I didn't know it then, but it was. And, you know, it was just cool because a lot of people that maybe I wouldn't hang out with, they were all coming to me because they wanted to see something really cool. And that was kind of the start of it. It became this thing where you can walk into any room and break the ice in a second, you know?
Sure.
Like a quiet room, you can walk in and just break the ice and start talking.
Everyone feeling comfortable and
that's
feeling
it.
intrigued.
That's
by
it, literally.
Yeah,
literally. And I think that's one of the hardest, that's the most awkward thing, right? And one of the hardest things when you walk into a room and you don't know anyone. Whereas you can start a conversation with this and it's the icebreaker. That's the best thing about it.
Did you feel yourself becoming more like comfortable in social settings because of your talent?
Yes and no. So I'm an introvert in the sense of like, I just don't really talk to people much. Yeah, I'm just naturally like that. I opened up a lot because of the magic. Like so much, because that's the whole point. It's the icebreaker part of it. That's what really got me to open up, because I can talk to anyone, do something crazy, and then like, you know, now it's no longer like an awkward thing of like, what do you say? How do you converse? That kind of thing. It just flows after that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you've created a massive following and attraction on TikTok and Instagram. We're talking like millions on TikTok and like 250,000 on Instagram. Crazy. How would you say that you've managed to create that much of an attraction?
I think the essence of my videos is a small story. There's a story to every video, right? It's a trick. So a lot of the people are looking at just the trick, but at the end of the day, something's happening. So as long as you're telling a story and something is meant to happen in that story, that's kind of how you build, let's say, a viral video, at least from our perspective. So yeah, it's about telling stories, I guess.
But also, like, telling stories is one thing, but sometimes I feel like it depends who the person is. Do you feel like when people see you online, they become intrigued because maybe you're Asian, maybe because you're UK based? Like,
I don't know how well that translates on social media. Right. In the sense of like, how does someone really know where you're from if you don't really say much about it? Because I would speak in my videos, but I wouldn't necessarily speak all the time.
Why is that then?
I think it's more, one, I know what works on the platform. Two, it just depends what trick I'm doing. Some tricks you don't really have to speak because the trick's got to speak for itself. If I'm going to start speaking and start saying like 5 to 10 sentences to describe a video, it's click off straight away. No one's going to watch that because no one wants to really hear what you say unless you're doing something with that. You know, like if I'm, I don't know, holding something in my hand and actually doing something with it and the trick's about to happen, that's different. But if I'm just talking and the trick's going to happen like 2 minutes later, it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
So.
you mentioned you know what's going to work for the app.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's how you've got your videos to go so viral? Because you've almost,
Yeah.
I guess, studied it and been doing it for so long that you know what's going to bang and you know what's going to go viral.
That's
you know
it.
what's going to be dead.
That's it, literally. I think we got to a point where, the way I started social media was with a group of friends. So I was supposed to help out another magician friend of mine, and we met up and I was helping him film with someone else. And eventually that he kind of got me into content as well, properly, because he was already pretty big. I think over like 100K at the time on Instagram. So I used his knowledge to help like kind of build my own kind of knowledge of content. And we started all helping each other. And that was essentially it. And then after that, we all basically cracked the algorithm in the sense of we figured out what works. We figured out how to, grab someone's attention span in the first second of scrolling. Because you got to look at social media as one thing. There are millions of videos. Your job as a creator is to stop the person from scrolling, right? That's the intention. If you can stop someone from scrolling, you're 50% there. You know, the rest of that 50% is the content itself.
So what was like, that's an interesting way to look at things, because sometimes we get lost in our own world, thinking I'm about to drop a hot interview or a hot mix or a hot piece of content.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Can't
something
wait
about
to
that.
drop this. Everyone's going to be talking about it. But then in reality, Sims might scroll past, see my picture, think, oh, whatever, scroll past, see yours, think whatever, and then see a random girl talking about makeup and think, oh, that's amazing, because, it's just down to what people are into. But I mean, what got you to that space to think, oh, actually, I need to study what people do on their social media?
Because you know what it is? I realized sometimes you fall in love with your own content, that you get delusional in the sense of this is going to work, but it doesn't. And you see that a lot. It's happened to me a lot. There's a lot of videos I think, okay, I know this is going to do well. But then I look back, I post it, I look back at it, I'm like, oh, I missed this. I missed a couple of things because I was so ready to just get that video up on the internet, like want people to see it. And then once I saw it on the internet from a different perspective, different pair of eyes, then I was like, okay, I've missed the certain element that I wanted in that video just because I was so quick to get it up, that happens.
Sure. But what was like the first piece of content? Do you remember it what was the first thing that really popped off?
Yeah,
sick.
like
Okay.
first thing that went
That kind of
viral.
made you think, wow, this is actually madness.
Yeah,
now, like.
cool. So 2014, I filmed a video. We were at a hotel, so I was fully dressed up. So I was like, I'm going to use this opportunity to film something because I'm all dressed up and stuff at a hotel.
Yeah.
Nice location. Cool. I filmed something where I basically like pulled money out of my phone, doubled it. And it was such a quick video, about 12 seconds. And posted it on my Instagram. 2 days later, it got reposted by Lad Bible on Facebook. Right?
Oh, okay. That's a big page.
That's a big page. At that time, that was like one of the biggest pages at that time, right? So 2014, that's when they had just started, but they had like way over 1 million followers back then. It got 1 million views in like 12 hours or something crazy. When I woke up the next day, messages were just like, I was spammed. People like, yo, you've made it. You're on this page or on that page. Comments are going crazy. And thing is, in that video, I was all dressed up. I was formal. So I was wearing my turban. So I was already representing, right? And that was like in a way unintentional because I didn't really plan for it to be that way. And that video to go viral. And that was the first video that really popped. And then I was like, all right, you know what? Like, this is cool. I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
And I want to make more of these. And that's kind of, I just carried on making content. Because for me, I was like, I want to look back in like 10 years time and go, I want to see what I've done, you know?
Yeah.
I want to look back and go, okay, I've made this many videos and it's just fun to watch, you know?
For real, man. For real. But myself and Sims have a lot of conversations about social media, because obviously Sims' DJ career stems from her TikTok viral videos doing mixes and stuff. And one thing we talk about is mental health and how the impacts of having such big followers, having such a demand for your content. How do you deal with having such a big online presence? Like, how does that work for you mentally?
One thing you realize along the way, no matter how big, how small you are, forget the comments. The comments don't matter. Like, because the people that are commenting aren't the ones making the content. They're watching you, right? They're not the ones actually going there, stepping in front of the camera, making the content, making the video. You know, they're just going to talk, and they're always going to talk.
It's funny you say that. I'll tell you one thing real quickly before you, don't think that, hold your thought here. But like, there was a time during lockdown where like myself and Sim started working now. Yeah. She was coming here. We was practicing, like she was practicing DJing, but like I was listening to her and she was just knocking out like an hour mix just bangers after bangers.
Yeah.
She'll go online with like a 30-second clip and people be like, she's not a real DJ. I can't wait to see, like, she won't be able to DJ in front of a crowd. And in my head, I was just like rubbing my hands thinking, when shit opens up, Sim's going to be very active.
different story.
And it's happened now, and it's kind of...
And no one says anything anymore because it was a period in lockdown where they had something to say because I started in lockdown. As soon as lockdown ended, what could they say? What could they say?
They can't. And that's the thing about lockdown, I think. I know a lot of people who started social media during lockdown.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because they couldn't do anything else. Like, there was nothing else they could do. Yeah. And they, like, a lot of friends, I know a lot of people who, you know, wanted to do magic on social. I know a lot of magicians, by the way, a lot. But not all of them are social media, right? Not all of them are on social media in the way I am and some of my close friends are. They... majority of the time want to do bookings and like you know, events, and there's nothing wrong with that at all because that's a great space. But they tried to then jump on social media when COVID happened, right? Thinking, okay, if some XYZ can pop and bang, like, why can't I? Cool. Started it, uploaded 1, 2, 3 videos, stopped. The second COVID finished, dead. Like, they don't post anymore. And not everyone gets it that it's a consistency game. You know, it's not about, it won't work then. Eventually it will. You only need one video to change your life. Like, one video to change everything. You know, I'm a huge Gary Vee fan, so that's what he says a lot of the time. You just need one video to do well to change everything.
We're always saying each other.
Do you know what? It's so funny. We actually had a conversation about this the other day, and we were saying, like, you could be posting, like, so I could be posting, let's just say I'm posting a mix every single day or a podcast video every single day, and it's not banging the way I want it to bang. But in those, like, let's say it gets 1,000 views, in those 1,000 views, there could be someone extremely important who's going to pick my content and be like, oh, I've got a sick opportunity for you.
That's it. You need that one person to see your video. That one person is all it takes. That one opportunity is all it takes to change everything, right?
So what's the craziest person that ever reacted to one of your videos for you?
Yeah, either reacted, commented,
there must have been someone crazy.
Followed you, or like,
Oh, man, I don't know. I've never looked at it like that. I just, I don't look at it like that. I look at, like, what opportunity I can get out of it. Like, it's more like I create the videos and I'm more thinking, how can I take this to the next level? For me, I would say the biggest thing ever was the billboard thing. Because that was at a time, and the reason I say this is because I'm not a model, right? So doing magic and being on a billboard, it's like, they're so far apart, it's crazy, you know? And it wasn't just like, yes, I was representing TikTok at that time for that billboard, but they, like, fully represented me. Like, my username was all over that poster.
Can I just make one thing clear moving forward? There's 3 people here. Only 2 people have been on a billboard. So I can't speak, right? I don't know what it feels like, guys.
No. But I mean, like, I look at the opportunities.
I'm just on the radio, you know, with a perfect radio face. Do you get me?
But you represented being Sikh.
Well, yeah.
You represented being Asian, being Desi, being Sikh.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I look at the opportunities out of it because, you know, yes, I make videos. Yes, I'll have a big audience. But I don't look at who's following me in that sense. I look at more, I want to make good content and I want content to be enjoyed by people, you know, and that will be from every direction, like every part of the world. I think that's the benefit of, like, I guess my style of content is because it's got a chance to, like, really go out to, like, any country. And magic is this a universal language where you don't need words to understand, like, what's going on.
Yeah,
you know, you don't need to know English. Yeah. You don't need to know any language. That's why some of my videos are on music, because it doesn't matter what the music is, it's what's happening in the video, you know?
Sure.
And yeah, so I just look at, like, how can I make one opportunity bigger into the next, and really, like, scale that way.
No, definitely. Yeah, that's a nice way to look at things. Very productive.
Yeah.
And very forward thinking. I feel like going back to the billboard thing, I mean, what was that like for you as well? Because I know that's how you guys connected as well. Like, you saw, you know, Sims up on a billboard.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
that experience was crazy, right?
You know the feeling. It's insane.
It was a really weird feeling. Like, I remember when I took the picture, and I couldn't even look back at the picture that they, like, taken with this Samsung phone. Because obviously I was, like, basically promoting the Samsung phone, the new phone. So I was like, oh, like, the next thing you know, it's going to be on that big screen, and I'm just going to be looking at it. I was just like, wow, like, I just feel like, I don't know, doing DJing and being on social media, I didn't think 1 minute, the next minute I'm going to be on a billboard.
Exactly the same.
Like, the biggest billboard.
Exactly the same. I mean? Like, it's two different things that, like, to make content and then to be on a billboard. If you're a model, I get it.
It's mad.
I get it. You know, there's an opportunity
You're
there.
aiming for that almost, to be on the biggest billboard
of course.
As a model. But as a magician, you're just head down, focusing on your content.
That's it. And I just look at whatever's meant to happen is meant to happen, right? It's like...
Yeah.
That's it. But one thing I know, and I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier on, is, like, you can try for the longest amount of time and it won't work. But if you stop, you're stopping all your chances from it actually doing well. Because all it takes is one opportunity. Like I always questioned, what if I started 5 years earlier than I did? You know, I kind of wish I did. But when I look back, I think I could have, but maybe it wouldn't have worked the way I wanted it to. You know, I could be in a completely different place now than I was then. And it just wouldn't have worked. So there is a right time, right place, I believe.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that.
I think you, like, as someone that's been in the game as long as I have, when I speak to people like yourself, I can tell where they're at almost in their career.
Okay.
And that works out like, you get people that are new to it. So like, there's certain things that happen with Sims, and I'll talk to her and I know this is the first time she's having to. First time she DJ'd abroad, it was in Kenya. I think, no, it was in Dubai.
Dubai.
Sick. Yeah. She travels too much, we forget now. But
that's good. That's so good. You want to do that.
When she did New Year's Eve in New Jersey, she was coming in doing countdown, like 10, 9, thinking about it, talking to me about the countdown. Going into midnight and everything. And I almost forgot that feeling because I'm so like autopilot with DJing now. But it made me feel like so gassed for Sims, that raw, like she's going to another country to do this. And when you're speaking, actually, I can feel like there's a journey before of like a struggle where it wasn't really happening. Maybe there was a bit of like uncertainty about becoming this person that is so well known for magic. But now it feels like you got a sense of accomplishment as well because you've achieved so much.
You're right. I mean, you're completely right. Like that was very good, like judgment, I guess.
He's a very good judge of character.
No, like don't get me wrong. Like my parents were not necessarily supportive.
That's the first time she's rated anything I do. Man. Thanks, man.
Like, don't get me wrong. My parents weren't necessarily supportive because again, I'm just playing with a pack of cards and they're thinking, what can you actually do with this? Also, bear in mind, I was during my exam time, so I can kind of see where they were like pointing towards. But yeah, like I just tried. You know, I just tried. Okay, I didn't really do anything else. I had no like side hustle, let's call it. But I enjoyed this ever since, you know, I learned that first thing and that reaction that I got from it. So I was like, there's no harm just doing some more stuff. But I got very involved in it. Like I was like constantly researching new ways of doing things, buying so many props. They thought I was just wasting money, like all these cards and all this sort of stuff. And but as soon as I started making videos, it kind of changed because then there's an output. There's something I'm actually putting time and effort in. Because look, to a normal person looking at a video, they think it's a video. But behind the scenes, it's planning for that video. It's knowing how to film. It's knowing how to edit, knowing about lighting, knowing about sound, knowing about all these different things that come together to make one piece of content. You know, so from my parents' perspective, they thought, okay, he's finally using his time wisely and actually doing something with it. And that was the output of it.
Amazing.
And because then there's a lot to learn within that, right?
Even down to what the clothes you wear.
Everything. Like every little thing. Like, you learn so much. So it's fashion. So it's like lighting. So it's background. So it's like location. It's everything. It's people you get involved with. And then you also realize along the way who you can and can't be around because company is everything, isn't it? So, and you'll see some people that come in that are like, okay, they just don't fit your vibe. And if I see that, I'm out immediately. I never stick with that kind of crowd, ever.
Would you say that, like, since you've grown your social media, you've had people along the way who maybe you thought were your friends, and then they weren't, or anyone who's distant from you?
100%. Wow. 100%. These are close friends. These are, you know, friends on social media. You know, I've had people that were doubting me, you know, in the sense of, I don't really know what he'll do. Like in that sense, or like, you know, that hidden thought in the back of your head, like when someone's saying something, but they don't believe it, that kind of thing. But then as soon as it happened, it's a completely different ballgame, right? And those are the people that, like, you know, eventually they understood it. And then, like, there was never something like confrontation or something like that. But you get the feeling, you know how that person's thinking based on the way you talk or that kind of thing. And yeah, there are. I think that's always the case.
Yeah,
you know?
We've seen it with your career a lot as well, isn't it? Like,
I think it's always the case. It's not limited to anyone. I think everyone experiences that in some way. But you know, you need to know who to keep around you. And you'll know that very quickly, I guess, because of kind of what happens because of the success, I guess.
Definitely. But speaking of friends and stuff, you know, we're good friends with Dawood.
Yeah, sick.
Dawood the magician. Obviously, seems you had him up on your podcast. I mean, that was a real interesting conversation. Yeah. He's a really good friend of ours. We know him personally. And I know with Sims, you know, she likes to get nosy. Ask a lot of nosy questions.
No, he's supported my like DJ career as well for quite, like, since the beginning pretty much. So, you know, we've been on Instagram lives before, but I thought, like, get him in the studio, let's do a podcast.
100%, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, there was a few moments from that podcast that went absolutely viral because...
What moments was it though?
Because I was getting to that.
No, get to the point.
Yeah, there was a few moments that went absolutely viral. He basically said that he does black magic, and obviously him being Muslim, there was a massive conflict, I guess. There was a lot of controversy. And a lot of people had an opinion. So I guess that's the reason it went viral, because everyone was like, oh my God, why is he saying this?
Yeah.
But, you know, you being Sikh, do you get any reaction from the Sikh community doing magic?
I think it's a little bit different in... you know what? It's very difficult to say that, actually, because I don't, like... Yes, I represent the community, but I don't, like... how do you explain it? I don't know.
I don't think you are driven by your religion or your culture.
I'm religious, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like,
your career is not based on that.
No, it's not.
You're very mainstream.
Yeah. I don't think I use religion as a way to, like, do my stuff in that sense. Or even
culture. I don't think that you're culturally trying to push an agenda through.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Your culture. You're just kind of showing people a very, like, a widespread kind of...
I feel like my image on social media is a different side to me. That's it. That's all I'm kind of putting out there, right? Like, people that know me know I'm quiet. I'm not an super outgoing person, you know? Like, my close friends, we're close. Like, I'm loud and all that kind of thing. But, like, out and about, I'm not like that. Right. And I think for social media, that got me to open up a lot. Like, you know, I was able to talk to a lot of people, and, like, because it's important. You need to, like, know how to communicate properly in order to get the right collabs, just to get the right videos and all sorts of stuff. And they just opened up a lot. Like, my personality opened up a lot more. And yeah, you're right. I'm not culturally driven in that sense. So I think it's a different way of thinking to him. Yeah,
I feel like if a fellow Sikh was to watch your video, they would, I think, be proud that you're representing in a way, because you've got a massive following. You've been on a billboard. You know, you're doing sick. So I think it's kind of a different aspect.
Yeah, I think I look to inspire. I think it's more like that.
If like someone wants to inspire someone who's maybe starting up.
Exactly. If someone wants to watch my content, I want them to, you know, look at what I'm doing and go, okay, that's sick. I want to do that, because there's different stages to what we can do with the magic side of things. Like, as you know, with Dawood, it's like complete different ways of doing things. But I just look to inspire. I want someone else to go, okay, I want to do that, and actually try to learn like what I'm doing in a way. I think there's a level to that. Yeah.
I think going back to Dawood, I think we all know him well enough to know that he's just chatting shit anyway. Yeah. I'll be real with you. Like,
I will not confirm nor deny.
I'll confirm it right here, right now. I just think he's young. He got a bit excited, a bit carried away. I don't think he's about that life. I think he comes from a good home. I think he's got a good understanding of his faith.
Of course.
But I think sometimes what you put out there isn't always... You have to think twice about what you
have to be careful. Internet is a big place, man. Like, you put the wrong thing out there and it stays on there. You put the right thing out, it's only going to reach a couple, like 100 people.
I feel like as quick as you can go viral, it's as quick as you can get cancelled.
It's that quick.
So,
like, it's so quick. So you need to watch, in a way, you got to watch what you say, right? Think twice before you say anything, or think twice before you put anything on the internet in general.
Especially when you have a following. It's almost like you've got a job to, like...
No, it is.
You know, make sure you don't... Or not make sure, but if you do say the wrong thing, it's... you know... So many people are watching you.
Cancel culture is a lot bigger now than it was a little while ago. It's different now. So, yeah, different way of thinking.
Definitely. So, you know, but we're excited for your kind of current situation, but your future. I mean,
appreciate it.
Is there any plans? Is there anything happening in your world that you can talk about at the moment? Or is it all kind of just, you're just going with the flow with things, and things are just organically being massive the way they are? And
so I think in general, I'm always looking for the next big thing, the next big campaign, the next big opportunity. And I feel like that's because I know where my content can go. And I've seen, like, ever since I got the billboard opportunity out of that, it's like, now I know the possibilities are endless. Like, honestly, there's so many things you can do. A recent project I'm working on, this happened a couple of weeks ago, a project with Cineworld. So it's a huge campaign. I didn't know how big this campaign was. I didn't realize. It was a 2-day shoot in Sheffield. So a day shoot and then a full night shoot. And basically the end result is going to be me and like 4 or 5 other people across, like, internationally and all of UK and then like US, across all like Cineworld billboards in their cinemas and stuff, and then as commercials before the movie plays on the actual big screen.
Crazy.
Plus commercials like Disney Plus and Netflix and that sort of stuff on like little ads.
Oh my God.
Yeah, crazy. So
do you know when that's going to be out?
I think in a couple months' time. They're preparing, and it was a crazy shoot. Like, there was dance sequences. There was, like, you know, like huge solo shoots, like individual photo shoots. It was crazy. It was weird. Like I didn't realize how big that shoot was until I got there. So I think I'm always looking for that kind of next big opportunity where you can scale, you can do something different, and most importantly, represent, right?
And it gives you that commercial. I just feel like you're just so commercially viable. Like the way you're out.
You know what it is? I realized this along the way that you can apply magic to anything. I worked with a lot of brands, and I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of good brands. And I realized you can do magic with absolutely anything. And that's kind of how I pitch it now. It's like, you know, if you want me to do magic with a drink, I can do that. Magic with a burger, I can do it. Magic with a table, I can do it. Like it's not limited. And I think that's a cool thing to like say to a brand, like, hey, we can do a lot of stuff with the most random thing you can name. Yeah.
It just comes out of creativity.
That's it. As long as you can think like in a certain way. And don't get me wrong, not all the ideas are mine. Like I've got people that help me come up with ideas. You know, it's a team effort, but like it's hard work as well. It's not just like, okay, I'm going to think of an idea overnight, but that also does happen. Like you can be in the shower and okay, look, that's an idea that's going to work.
It's the creativity that goes into it.
That's it.
But you know what? I want to say one thing. I want to big up Cineworld in Ilford. That place stinks of curry. Honestly, that Cineworld is a dungeon. That place is like being in a horror film. You walk in there, the guy's got no teeth.
Oh wow, is that bad?
Goes on. Trust me, you can hear you can hear rats in there.
That's mad. That's so mad.
I think they even closed down now. A few weeks ago.
That's so mad.
Big up Cineworld Ilford, you know, brings back a lot of memories.
Do you have any like dream collabs that you would be like dreaming of? Like, oh, I want to do that collab. I want to work with that brand. I want to do this.
Let me ask a question. Have you guys ever seen you may or may not, I could be completely wrong. Have you ever seen a video of, it went super viral in 2019, of someone taking a straw, putting it behind the ear, and they're ending up in a cup? It was as a magic trick.
Maybe. I can't remember it.
If I show you, you may know it.
Was it like, what brand was it?
It wasn't a brand. Trick? It was just a video.
Oh, okay.
It was a single video. So one of my friends was going, watch the straw. 3, 2, 1, goes behind his ear. And then it ends up in my friend's cup. And then he just goes crazy. If I show you the video, you may have seen it.
And that's your video, yeah?
That's my video.
Okay.
And that was filmed during 2019. Filmed that video. So we didn't plan to meet that day. So we, like 2 hours, 3 hours later, they were like, okay, let's just meet up. It was just me, my friend, and another friend. We met up in Kingston McDonald's. That's where we were mostly filming at the time. And another friend was meant to meet up with us to help us film. Didn't turn up. So we were sitting at McDonald's for a little bit. And we were like, okay, I want to film this video. So we just quickly sat in position, just asked some random person sitting next to us, hey, can you just hold the camera? One take, pressed, and filmed it. Like our friend had no idea. We just literally pressed film and said, just sit here and just watch what we're doing. Film. Filmed it, literally there and then. So you were using CapCut, we were using InShot back then. Put it together in like 5 minutes, upload. 1 hour, 10 million views on TikTok.
Oh my God.
Whoa. In 1 hour, right? Crazy.
What happens to your phone?
We turned off notifications. It was that bad.
But like when you go on TikTok, so you just say 99 plus every time you go on
it was different. So back then it was just 99 plus for everything, right? Now they actually show you the number. It was different.
What's the number? What's that?
I'll tell you where it finished. So listen to this. 1 hour, 10 million views. 2 hours, 20 million views. 3 hours, 30 million views. That was just TikTok. Instagram, 1 million an hour. And Instagram was different back then, so 1 million an hour.
Yeah, it's probably not normal to like get that on.
Woke up the next day, 60 million views. Right? It just skyrocketed. That same day, every single meme page on the internet had that video. Like it was you couldn't scroll your feed without seeing that video. A few hours after that, Daily Mail had it. BBC News had it. It was weird. It started going on to places like Japan and international. It was weird. We got some random Japan follower message us saying, hey, you're on our news for this video. And
how does that make you feel though, bro? Because that's
we spent 3 minutes filming a video and it went mega viral.
What did your friend say to you after? He must have looked at you and said, bro, look what you've done. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and it didn't stop. So that video ended up finishing just on a single page on like 150 million views, right? Just on one platform.
And then it was across like so many
platforms. Instagram, we ended up doing like everything. Instagram thing like 60 million views. And that's just one page. We all posted it as well. So we all had like the same amount of numbers. So going back to your question, dream collab, I think McDonald's, because we did so much for them and we never worked with them.
Actually, you need to show us this video afterwards. I need to see, because I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah,
now.
Same, yeah.
Should I find it?
Yeah, I'm going to show the camera.
I'll show the camera.
Watch the straw. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! God. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? All the way. Whoa! What? Blood of Jesus! Blood of Jesus! No.
4 years ago, and that was just like, that's what I mean. Like, one video can change everything, right? It was unplanned. It was raining that day. We didn't want to film. We didn't want to do anything.
Imagine if you didn't do it. I reckon there would have been another video you would have done.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's always a time, right? But I mean, that's what I mean by right time, right place. We didn't want to come there. We didn't want to film because the weather was just crazy. No one was replying to our messages. Like, it was just that kind of day. So we just said, okay, well, let's just go and see what happens. Like, if we didn't film anything, we just go to eat. Like, that's it. And in the end, we got a video out of it that was like insanely successful. And yeah,
but, you know, one thing I always say, and we've been saying this as well, is that you can go viral with a video.
Yeah,
going viral with videos,
it's not an issue.
It's fine. It's what you do after that.
Yeah.
And that consistency.
It's how you capitalize that success and that opportunity.
And you've done that.
I try to.
Sure.
I try to. I mean, when something goes viral, like, or does well, I will capitalize on it in the sense of, like, you know, I think it's different how you look at it depends on what's happening. But like, if a video goes really, really viral, you know, I would then upload like 5 or 6 more right after, just to capture that momentum. You know, if I'm doing a huge project like the Billboard thing or the Cineworld thing or whatever, I'd get like a PR team to actually push it out and actually talk about it, because, you know, what's the point of talking about it a year later? There's no effect. You know, talk about it there and then.
Exactly.
Make use out of it.
Yeah, make use out of it.
I got one more question though. Is there ever magician beef?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because, you know, sometimes there's little DJs that try to get cheeky.
If someone was saying you know what? Beef, I'd be like, yeah, of course. People just beef me.
You know what? It's weird. I think mainly it's like, this gets very techie. This is like IP rights, right? Intellectual property rights. This is where it gets techie. It's like someone comes up with a trick. It's not like commercialized or anything like that, but like, they'll show someone else. That person will then, figure it out, do it themselves, and the other person's like, I guess, pissed. Like, oh, why did you do it? I didn't give permission to do that trick. And
oh, is that like that? Yeah.
It can get like that.
So does it ever get physical, or do like people?
I don't know about physical, but like,
you do magic tricks like, yo, and the next man got no hand.
Yeah, like making someone disappear. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
That happens. Soon, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, you might need to do me a favor soon. So. Yeah, bro.
But we're so excited. Like, I'm sure you'll get that McDonald's collab for sure.
So.
And it was been so nice chatting to you.
I appreciate it.
Do you eat McDonald's, or you just stopped eating that?
Nah, I eat McDonald's. Of course.
He said, "There's no way you're gonna say I'm gonna say the wrong thing about McDonald's."
Nah, I can't. I mean,
nah, that's dope, man. Yeah, it's been wicked speaking to you, bro. Man, we're really excited. I think one of my favorite people to have up in the studio.
Oh, that's so sweet, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Man. Good people.
Thank you so much for coming on my podcast, and we'll sure to chat again soon.
For sure.
Thank you.